Hey guys, so today we're going to review mean, median, mode, and range. So open this up and follow along. So let's talk about the difference between the three and how to find them. So the mean is just your average of your numbers, and how you find it is you add up all of your observations or your data and then divide by how many numbers there are. Your median is your middle number, so the number that's in the middle, and to find this, you place all of the numbers in order from least to greatest, and you find which number is actually in the middle. The mode is going to be your number that repeats the most, so you're going to place the numbers in order from least to greatest, which you should have already done to find the median, and you're going to find the number that's repeated the most often. And then the range is the difference between the biggest and the smallest numbers. So you're going to subtract your smallest and your largest number to find the range. All right, so let's take a look at this first question. It says, how do you find the mean, median, mode, and range of the data in the dot plot? So this is a dot plot, and just a review of how dot plots work. So this chart is telling you the numbers of this dot plot is telling you the numbers of hours spent per week watching television. So there was one person that watched 0, 2 people that watched 1 hour, 3 people that watched 2 hours, and so forth. So from this data set, we're trying to figure out the mean, the median, the mode, and the range. Okay, so first we need to, I always just like to start off writing our numbers in order from least to greatest, even when I'm finding the mean. So to do that, we're going to list out the numbers that are actually on this dot plot. So we said there was one person that watched 0, so we're going to put a 0. There were 2 people that watched 1 hour. There were 3 people that watched 2. 3 people that watched 3. 4 people that watched 4 hours. Okay, and then there's just one person right here that watched 9 hours. All right, so to find the mean here, we're going to take all of these numbers that we just listed out and we're going to add them all together to find the sum. So the sum of all of our numbers, if you add them all up, is going to be 42. So that's adding 0 plus 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, and so forth. And then we're going to take that number and we're going to count how many total numbers that we have. So total numbers. So if we look, how many actual dots are on the graph? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So there's a total of 14 numbers, and we're going to take those two numbers and divide them. So 42 divided by 14. And when you do 42 divided by 14, you should get 3. So that means the mean, or the average, is 3. So the average amount of hours that were watched, the average amount of hours watched for TV was 3. All right, so now let's find the range, or the median, I'm sorry. The median is going to be our middle number. So I like to, instead of crossing out my numbers because I still want to see them, I like to just make a little dot above the numbers. Start from your outside, work your way in. We are trying to find that middle number since they're in order from least to greatest already. Keep going. Okay, so I'm left with these last 2 numbers right here in the middle, which are the same, right? So we can already tell that our median is going to be 3. However, what you will do if these 2 numbers are different is you would add them up. So I'll show you here. You would do 3 plus 3, which is 6, and then you would divide by 2 because there's 2 numbers. So 6 divided by 2 gives me 3. So you basically find the average of the 2 numbers that are in the middle, which still gives me 3, again, because they're both the same. It's 3. And then our mode, so we are going to find the number that was used the most. So we've already lined them up. You can also tell from the graph here that 4 hours was the most common. 4 is going to be our mode here. It's the number that we see the most. 4. It's kind of hard to see. And then lastly, our range is going to be how much range there is in our data. So you're going to take your largest number, which you can see here is 9, and our smallest number, which is 0, and we're going to subtract 9 minus 0, which is 9. So our range of our data set is 9. So that's how you find the mean, median, mode, and range of a data set. Okay, this next one's a little bit different. We're still doing the same thing, but it says there are 20 students, 10 are 11 years old, 7 are 10 years old, 1 is 9 years old, and 2 are 12 years old. Find the mean, median, mode, and range. So we need to go ahead and list out the numbers. So I'm going to look for the smallest number that we have because we want to go from least to greatest, which is 9. So there's one 9-year-old, so I'm going to list that. The next, there are 7 10-year-olds. So we're going to list the number 10 7 times. 1, 2. Okay, then we're going to list the number. The next biggest number is 11, and there are 10 11-year-olds. So we're going to do 11 10 times. And then lastly, there are 2 12-year-olds. All right, so we're going to find the mean, median, mode, and range. The first thing is to add all of those numbers up in your calculator. So that's to find our mean. So the sum, when you add all of those together, should be 213. And then we're going to count how many total numbers there are, but they already told us that there are exactly 20 numbers, right? 20 students, so 20. So we are going to do 213, and we're going to divide that by 20. And when we do that, we get 10.63. So the average age is a little over 10 and a half. All right, that's for our mean. Our median, remember, is the one in the middle. So start on your outside, work your way in, figure out what number is in the middle. Okay, we can see that we're getting to the middle, and we've got 2 11s, right? So remember, if those numbers were different, you would add them up. That would give us 22. And then you would take 22 and divide it by 2, which is 11, which we can see here it is 11 because it's the same. So 11 is our middle number, our median. Next is our mode, so which number occurs the most. So we can kind of see that from reading the scenario, but you can also look at the data that we wrote out, and you can see 11 was written the most because there were 10 11-year-olds. So 11 would be our mode. And then our range, we're going to look for our smallest and our largest number, so 12 and 9. And we are going to subtract 12 minus 9 to get 3, which is our range. All right, this next one below the point totals for the girls' volleyball games this season. Find the mean, median, mode, and range. Okay, so right now this is all out of order, so we need to order them from least to greatest. So I like to cross out as I go because I'm writing it again. So my smallest number here I can see is 9. Okay, I don't have any 10s, but I do have some 11s. I have 1, 2, 3 11s. 2, 3. My next number is 12. I have just one number, 12. 13, I don't have any. 14, I have 1 14. 15, I have 1, just 1 15. Next number is 16. I have, again, just 1. 17, no 17s. 18s, I have 1, 2. So 2 number 18s. 19, I just have 1. I don't have any 20s, but I have 1, 2, 3, 4 21s. All right, so now let's go ahead and find our mean, median, mode, and range. So for our mean, remember we're going to add them all up, find our sum, and then we are going to divide by how many numbers are in our number set. So our sum here is 238, and that's adding 9 plus 11 plus 11 and so forth. The amount of numbers, if we count, there are 15 numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And then if we do 238 divided by 15, that should give us 15.87. And we're rounding here. So our mean is 15.87. All right, for our median, we're going to start on the outside and work our way in. Find the guy in the middle. And we can see very easily here, 16 is our middle number. So that's our median. We didn't have to do any extra math there. And then the mode, the number that's used the most, looks like over here, let me pick a different color. This right here is definitely used the most, 21. So 21 is going to be our mode. And then finally the range of the data set. All right, we're going to take our largest number, which is 21, and subtract it with our smallest number, which is 9, to get our range, which will be 12. All right, try the rest of the practice and check the key when you're done.